Narada Muni therefore states, rather than lamenting the fate of Dhritarashtra and his wife Gandhari, you yourself, Yudhisthira, should look to the Supreme Lord only, Sri Krishna, whose appearing as all-devouring time has now descended on earth to eliminate the envious from the world. The question is being asked, how does one look? Either toward or away from someone who is all-pervading. So we say that God is everywhere. God is all-pervading. So how do you look? How do you look for God if He's everywhere? You look up, or you look down, or where do you look?
Within.
Yeah, but He's in there too. But He's all pervading. He's there, left, right, up, down, everywhere. Sridhar Maharaj says, look to the Lord, but where is He now? He's in Dwarka. That was at least 5,000 years ago. Krishna has assumed the form of destroyer, but His real form is bliss, Prabhupada said. For the devotees, Krishna's factual form is disclosed. For non-devotees, Krishna appears as Kalarup, which is His causal form. This causal form of the Lord is not at all pleasing to the demons. Therefore, they think of the Lord as formless, in order to feel secure that they will not be vanquished by the Lord. Krishna says in Gita, Mrityu Sarvaharascham, I come to take away everything. So Prabhupada says that the demons or the atheists, they don't believe in God. There's no such thing as God. But death is God. That's what Krishna says in Gita, Mrityu Sarvaharascham. Sarvahara, I take away everything. Sarvahara, as what? As Mrityu. So ultimately, even an atheist, even the agnostic or the atheist, he's forced to believe in God. Because he has to believe. He says, I don't believe in God, I don't believe in anything. Well, do you believe in death? Yes, well, death is God. So even the atheist ends, at the end, he has to accept God. because Krishna says, I am death. I come and take everything away. I don't believe in God. Okay, well, do you believe in death? Yeah, well, then you believe in God, because death is God. And Krishna, so that's what it says. It says that so it's very convenient, because if you're an atheist, if you don't believe in God, then you don't have to follow any laws of God. You don't have to act in any moral way or do whatever you want and exploit. And you say, oh, what do I care? There's no God. All of a sudden, death comes. Well, what about this? Do you believe in death? Well, yeah, I can't not believe in that. So the God comes as death. But for the devotees, it says for the non-devotees, God appears as death personified. But for devotees, God comes in His personal form. So when they die, most devotees have some experience of God when they die. Even they describe it. They describe that how they saw the Lord. People say, oh, He's here. And then they say, who's here? I remember Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj, he was towards the end of his life, and he was in the samadhi or a coma or something. And then one time he woke up in the middle of the night and he said, He's here. And no one saw anybody there. And they said, who's there? Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. I said, no. And he said, Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Because they thought he was saying he, but actually he was saying she. But he said, he's here. And he said, Lord Chaitanya. He said, no. Then he said, who? And he said, Radha. And then he closed his eyes again and went into samadhi. Yeah. So many people, and even our own God brothers and God sisters, they explain how they had darshan and were seeing Lord Chaitanya or Prabhupada or Krishna at the time of death. And oftentimes, the devotees, when they die, they have a very blissful face. They're really smiling. And usually the non-devotees, you can confirm this by asking anyone who works in the hospital or an old age home. The non-devotees don't have such a smile when they die, because they usually see the Yamadutes. The Yamadutes are the agents of death, and they're not very friendly. They come with some German shepherds, big dogs with them, super shepherds, And they come to lead the sheep home. The shepherds lead the sheep home. They come to take people to Yamaloka. And they have chains and all red hair sticking out and big teeth and really grisly looking guys. You see a painting in the 5th canto of Bhagavatam, ISKCON. It's pretty scary. And and people, when you see something frightening, then your face registers your fear. The mind is registered on the face. And Prabhupada said the face is the index of the mind. So when they're fearful, then the face looks... So devotees, they will not face the Yamadutes. They don't see them. They see the Vishnudutes. Vishnudutes come, or if someone's going to Vaikuntha, the Vishnudutes come, or if he's going to Goloka or to Boma Vrindavan. When the Guruji comes, Guruji or Krishna comes, Radha comes, and takes you there. There's no need for the Vishnudutes to come because you're not going to Vaikuntha. You go from this planet, then you go right, you take birth. You're transported through the skyways, transported to Boma Vrindavan, take birth in a woman of Gopi. They don't go to Yamaloka, and they don't go to Vishnuloka. And the Vishnudutas, they can't go into Boma Vrindavan. So there's a different arrangement for the devotees to be transferred, different airlines. Boma Vrindavan Airlines. You get transferred. You don't have to go change planes. It's a direct route. So what does Prabhupada mean by this causal form? He says this causal form of the Lord is not at all pleasing to the Asuras. Kalarup. Kalarup, the form of time, is Krishna's causal form. Through Krishna's energy of time, the world is forced to accept change. Seconds, minutes, hours, and all other units of time are all manifested from the potency of Krishna. Like a great stirring rod in a pot, Krishna's time energy moves everyone through their karma. Come on now, go along, move along. The time is devouring everyone, pushing everyone along. Time may elevate us one moment and smash us on the rocks of our fate the next. Today we are rich, and tomorrow poverty may overwhelm us. We may experience condemnation now and praise later. Time is unstoppable, and it forces us to change. For devotees, time ultimately means death. Time's out. Time's up. Times they are a-changing. Devotees experience time as Krishna carrying them toward him. That's nice. Time, in other words, time is moving everyone. Everyone's moving time. Then what's waiting at the end of the line? Death. Finished. But the devotees, time is pushing them, and they're waiting for Krishna. He's waiting at the end. Oh, I'm going to meet Krishna. Like we see in Brihad Bhagavatamrita, there's a famous painting of Krishna embracing Gopakumar. Gopakumar is the archetypal devotee, and he traveled everywhere from this planet Earth. He was born in Govardhan. Then he went to Brahmaloka and Shivaloka, so many lokas. He traveled all over, place to place, time, moving along with time, and finally he went to Goloka. And he met Krishna face to face, and Krishna ran and embraced him. Oh, you finally made it to the spiritual world. He embraced him. They both fell on the ground in a loving embrace, and they were rolling on the ground. And all the coward boys were saying, who is this guy? Well, you don't recognize him. He just came up out of nowhere. Time is unstoppable, and it forces us to change. Devotees may also experience time as Yudhishthira did, as beautiful Krishna who is present in Dwarka. Krishna is all-destroying time, but he is also the Satchidananda Lord, who performs blissful pastimes with his relatives and citizens in the palace of Dwarka. Is there any comments on this? Any questions?
You said that like we are pushed by the three modes and we don't have free will, but we do have free will.
Well, in other words, every jiva has some free will, but it's limited within its free will being expressed through the modes of nature. So we think this is me. I am this bundle of tamagun, and no, I really want to eat this meat. I really want to drink whiskey. This is me. I want this. It's not you wanting it. It's a mode of ignorance wanting it. But you're making a free will. Yes, I will drink this whiskey. I'm making this choice. It's my choice, my free will. But it's not really free because it's simply this is the modes of ignorance or passion or whatever the body's made of is making our free will express that way. Free will is only the real free will. It's some free will. It's some type of free will, but it's conditional free will. It's conditioned by the modes of nature. Because the soul also has free will. When one is pure, what is pure free will? Pure free will is the will to serve Krishna. In this way, now I'll serve Krishna like this. Now I want to serve Krishna like this and like that. And this has nothing to. I'm not being no pushing from ignorance or passion or goodness. This is the soul. And this is actually what you can say free will. Will is not influenced. Now our free will is influenced. It's influenced by our sanskars. It's influenced by our upbringing. It's influenced by our habits. It's influenced by our body. It's influenced by the modes of nature. There's so many influences. Why do we express our will in a certain way? This is my free will. But this free will is just coming. Your parents have shaped your upbringing, your culture, your education, combined with your sanskars, your previous good and bad deeds. They're actually shaping your expression of so-called free will. And then the type of body we have, what kind of body we have, what types of modes of nature, they're also playing a role. So it is a very adjusted free will, you could say, or filtered. This free will is being filtered through all these different coverings. And we have some knowledge, and as you get more knowledge, as you acquire more spiritual knowledge, transcendental knowledge, the more transcendental knowledge we have, the more free will we have. Because then we can understand why, this... In other words, before, someone would do something to us, and then we would, he is insulting me. Now we have free will. I'm making a choice. I'm going to insult him, or fight him, or something like that. What we're discussing here is time factor, willpower, the time factor. Krishna is the controller, and then Narada Muni is trying to enlighten Yudhisthira because Vidura came and enlightened Dhritarashtra, and Dhritarashtra and his wife Gandhari realized, this is not very good. That we're living with the family that killed our whole family. The Pandavas, and I had 100 sons, and they're all dead. Now I'm living with the person who killed my 100 sons. Dhritarashtra's 100 sons were killed by Pandavas. Actually, they're all killed by Bhima, I think. Isn't it? I think Bhima killed all 100 sons. And Dhritarashtra's blind, and he's a cousin of Yudhisthira. So he adopted him, he didn't know where to go. Where's he going to go? Live with his sons? Who can Dhritarashtra live with? His sons? They're all dead. So he's living with his cousin or brother or whatever, cousin, brother. And he was treated royally, but then Vidura came and said, listen, you're living like a household dog. What are you staying here? Get out from here. Go to the mountains. Die like a king. Go and meditate on God. So then finally it dawned on him. He left. They went to the mountains. Now Yudhisthira is lamenting, where my relative went? We killed all his sons. Now he's run away. Maybe our hospitality is not good. Maybe he didn't like my wife's cooking. somehow we didn't treat him right, he'll feel very bad. Now he went to the forest, what's happening? Maybe he got eaten by a tiger. Who's going to protect him? If I was here, I had my sons, Panch Pandava, and my brothers, Yudhishthira and his brothers, we could protect him. But he was like their uncle, Dhritarashtra was like their uncle. So he was thinking like this, and then Narada Muni came to Yudhishthira because they're such great devotees. Krishna lives with them. So Narada Muni comes to Krishna's darshan, and he says, he goes to Dwarka, and he says, oh, he's not here, he's in Hastinapur. So Narada Muni comes to Hastinapur. So then he preaches to him and says, what are you doing? Krishna's controlling everything. Why are you? It's his will. Everything's moving by his will. Don't lament. Don't worry about. You can't protect your uncle. Krishna's protecting him. Don't worry. Protecting him. Don't worry. Protecting him. Don't worry. Protecting him. Don't worry.